All for joining us. It is so nice having you all back with us. As we've done in the past, we've really tried to come up, especially this particular winter, with new and engaging types of programming. Everybody, especially, we didn't even realize how locked down we would be when we rolled out all of this programming, but now literally in a lockdown here in Quebec, the shul is closed, but it is so nice and warm to be able to have different types of programming, fascinating, insightful programs. So today we have another installment of our Israeli art program. We're joined by Ronnit Vasserman again, and with our Israeli artist, Shai Azoulay. We're so excited to have both of you. Shai has a fascinating story, which I'm sure he is going to tell us a little bit more himself, rather than me give him a lengthy introduction. But it is one that I know you will be intrigued and fascinated by, in addition to what we're really here for, which is to see some of his magnificent pieces of art. Without any further ado, I hand the program off to Ronnit, who will introduce us this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you to the whole community. It's great to be back. And I know you're really eager to meet Shai and to virtually enter his studio, but I want to share a brief introduction with you first. So Shai is originally from Kiryat, that is the part of Israel near the Lebanese border, but he currently lives and works in Jerusalem. He is a faculty member at the prestigious Bezalel School of Art and Design, where he also received his BFA and his MFA. He's had numerous exhibitions internationally, and he's also had some significant museum shows within Israel, including at the Tel Aviv Museum, as well as the Herzliya Museum. His practice consists of manipulating his dreams, obsessions, and memories into vivid narrative paintings. Some recurring motifs include Henry Matisse's cutouts, immigrant figures, plants, and wildlife. Landscapes of the sea and desert are frequently used to set a stage for his characters and menagerie of mysterious objects. Working in Jerusalem, a holy city, is the ideal backdrop for Shai's creativity and inspiration. I want to share with all of you that a few weeks ago, Shai became the recipient of the Landa Mif'al HaPayis Prize for Visual Arts. This award is considered one of the most prestigious awards in Israel in the fields of science, research, culture, and art. Today, more than ever, as we grapple with the pandemic, it's important to recognize working in these fields. And the committees stated their reason for selecting Shai. They said, Shai Azoulay constantly, consistently, and soberly, and uncompromisingly artist's work in the studio and his place in society, specifically in Israeli society and the Jewish religion. Now we will hear directly from Shai in his own words what his work is about, his process, his inspiration, and we will virtually enter his studio, an alternative universe bursting with energy and hopes for a bright future. Um, as Shai presents, please use the chat box with your comments, and we will do a Q&A at the end. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to all of you Shai Azoulay. Shai, take it away.
Hi, thank you, Ronnit. Well, I'm very excited to meet you. This Zoom reality makes us so, it's like magic, In a moment you are in a different place. And I'm very pleased and honored to speak with you and to meet you today, this afternoon. For me, it's this evening. Unfortunately, I'm not at the studio now. We are at lockdown, so I can't get to the studio. But I will present you some of my works, and I will show you some of my things that I'm working from, images, ideas. So, as Ronnit said, my main practice is painting. I'm a painter. my story is a bit like I started very late. I'm sorry, some of your microphone is open and I can't hear myself so much. So if you can, yeah, now it's better. Um, I started to do art very late. Like I never studied art, and after the army, I was a parachuter, and I mostly in Lebanon. I traveled to the north, to Thailand and Japan, and just to travel. And it's something that the Israelis are doing after the army. And I had a moment like I was going all the time with the drawing pad, with the drawing sketchbook, and I did the drawing, and I said, okay, this from this drawing I decided to be an artist. It just came to me, and from that moment on I just started my journey to do art, to focus on like observing myself through art. um, I will start with sharing some of my images. 1 second, I want to do it like that. Okay. uh, can you see it? Can you see it full screen? Yeah. Okay. So this painting, as I told you, my painting are dealing with the artist, most of them, the story of the artist at the studio. And I started with this painting, the turtle painting, and I started with that because it's something that this painting called mid career. It's like when you are starting to do art, you don't have so many things on your back, like in life. But during the time that you are starting your process, things are becoming like very heavy on your back. Images, your paintings, you're starting to take care of a lot of things. It's heavy. It's good, but it's heavy. As you see, my paintings are very colorful. I'm using a lot of color in the painting. I love the mixture of the color. I love the combination of colors. I believe that colors are very can affect a lot of things in our mood, reality, um, and this is something that to do. Usually, my paintings are very big, like the size of them. This painting is 2 meters on 2 meters. I don't know in inches, but it's big. It's like a wall. I feel that when I'm doing a big painting, I feel that I want to be inside of it. Okay. This painting called Dream. It's something about the painter that is like this painter is like sleeping here on this table, is like dreaming, but he's dreaming on the drops of colors here that are becoming something that like very they are awaking, and they are dancing around the canvas, the white canvas. As you see, there is kind of the clock is in the studio all the time. The studio door, something that it's like combining in the painting. One second. This painting is called Last Step. Um, it belonged to a group of painting that I refer to Matisse cutout, Henri Matisse. You know that Henri Matisse, he was one of the biggest painters in 20th century. But you know that the last thing that he did, Matisse, he was cutting papers. Like he was cutting papers, he couldn't paint. But I saw this cutouts exhibition in the MoMA like maybe 8 years ago, and I was so excited because even when you see his cutouts, you feel that there is something there. You feel that the master is there even when he's cutting papers with scissors. So I decided I'm going to paint Henri Matisse cutouts. I want to do it with color. I want to do it for him. So this is part. You will see more paintings of those of those cutouts during the presentation. This painting called the puzzle, selfie puzzle. Um, it's about, as you see, this figure is lying, and there is a stick with the camera that doing a story on this bird. There is this cactus that I'm doing a lot of things with cactus. Cactus as an Israeli something referred to the time here, and you can see as well the cutouts in the back, the influence of the cutouts of Matisse in the back. As you see, there is so many different colors in the painting, but I'm trying to do kind of combination to get to a balance with that, with the image. This is a very big painting. It's like 22 meter 20 on 150 centimeters. So it's very high. This painting is the thing, it's called the things that we don't know, the things that are happening under the table. Um, the figures are lying here under the table, and there is the plants. I grew up in the desert area of of Israel. It's called Arad, and the people in Arad were doing kind of, they had collections of cactus, different kind of cactus. So I think that it's getting to my paintings. I love to paint cactus. Tzabar. This painting called the meeting point. There is something with nature that I spoke about Arad and the nature. This nature is coming to me, like when people are meeting in nature, something different is happening because they are bringing different colors. They are bringing kind of community into it. They are bringing kind of energy into the nature. But see, look at this tree. It's so, for me, it's so human. There is no leaves to it, but it's very alive. And of course the sun, this orange sun that are shining. This painting called dating. Well, it's about, I have few works about from this group of painting that are dealing with the ultra orthodox figure. This figure is like the Hasid and the Hasida. It's kind of a humor. It's kind of a joke about the word Hasid and Hasida. It's this bird, and they are coming to nature to meet um, with the moon, with the magic of the moon. It is painting called Masechet Suta. It's Masechet Suta. It's from Gemara. It's one of the Masechet that are dealing with the with the woman that did something, and the man something wrong or not, but how to react to it. And those Orthodox are fighting. When you see Orthodox, when I was learning Gemara in yeshiva, not a long time. Now I'm not doing it, but I was looking at how the people were studying Gemara there. It was like a fight, brain fight, and I felt that I saw this painting in it. Like there is something of seeing, for me, images. When I'm painting, I'm not painting from photos. I'm painting from my mind. So, but I see things. I see images all the time. I see images in my mind, in my imagination, and I'm trying to put them down to a painting. I can see them when I'm reading, when I'm walking on the street. It's like I have all the time painting in my head, running in my head. This painting called The Blessing of the Moon, Birkat Levana. I was thinking of it. It's like those figures are holding iPhones. They are holding, like, it's like doing a blessing with the telephone, doing blessing with the with. It's funny to see people that are praying with the iPhones, but it's happening. It's normal now in this time. When it's starting to happen, it was funny to see people that are holding this tool and are praying with the um, with iPhone. It's all the time funny for me. This painting is it's going out to nature. you saw painting that were before like that. It's like those small figures. I love doing them. They are like meeting. They have something in common, but you don't know what they have in common. They are gathering. They are going to a trip. They are going maybe into the desert. But look at the skies. They are so expressive. They are there is so much movement in it. There is so much energy in the sky. I really it's the landscape of the place that I grew up. I feel that it's coming out of me very naturally. I'm not trying even to work hard for that. It's just coming out. And there are so many ways to do art and to do paintings. I my The best way for me to do art and to do painting is to let images go out of me without planning them. I'm doing a drawing maybe sometimes for it, but usually they are just popping out of me. Those figures, it's called a minion. There are 10 figures here, standing. Each one is a different canvas. They are very high. They are more than a normal. It's like a basketball player height. And they are standing there. They are a group of people. Usually it's 10. It's kind of a sculpture because it's not it's just leaning on the wall. It's not hanging on the wall. But look, the figures are, I didn't just invented them. Something that came out in my mind. I never, I never planned that. It's just I'm doing this figure and just growing with that. I'm adding another detail, another detail, another color, another layer, another part. But for me, the trigger was to do like a figure in a very thick, like this frame. It's very hard to do it like that. Sorry. This painting called Chase. When I started I'm Choser B'Tshuva. When I became religious, it was like happened like maybe 20 years ago. I wasn't religious before. I came from a Mizrahi family. My mother is from Spain, my dad is from Morocco. We had it at home, but we didn't do so much with that. So I'm like in a very late year, um, the age of 30, I started to go back to it. I started to keep Shabbat with my wife when it's like we did it together. But when I started to become religious, I looked at the Orthodox like they were the divine, the highest level religious people there is for me. But when you're getting inside, you see just a normal people with the black clothes, and that's it. And I was thinking about this chase of it's something that I had in my mind, like who is chasing who, the naked person and the dressed person, something with the image, something with the way that you see image. This painting called the chase of kalot, brooms. Um, well, it's about shidduch. There are so many. Sometimes there is so much energy in looking for a shidduch, and they are chasing this person, trying to catch him. Like this one as well, another chase. This painting called the lake. Uh, I well, when you are doing a painting, the thing that you are meeting with yourself that the painting is very static. It's not moving. It's very heavy, and you want to fly. And I did this painting as kind of reaction to it because it's like when you're getting to a very spiritual place, very high spiritual place, and you feel that your soul is going to fly with it. You feel it like you're you're so uplifted that you can fly. And I was thinking of it on the places that I'm traveling and meeting, especially nature, as well when I'm traveling to farther places like Uman, places that I believe, the places that my sources, my spiritual sources are there, like Rabbi Nachman. So you are getting there. There is this Woodstock of believers, and something is happening to you. You are starting to fly. You're starting to emerge. Another one with that. This painting is called Flying Painting Lesson. You see those, it's like when I'm teaching in the art academy, you are coming to teach painting, but there is this question of like if you can actually if you can actually teach art, how can you teach art? There are so many other ways to do it. There are so many different cultures, and I see carpet in a sense of something that has culture in it. And I feel that when I'm coming to teach, I have to bring something of my own to the students. And this is kind of a painting lesson. Like everyone is flying. It's like a Zoom. I'm teaching now. It's funny that I'm teaching painting or drawing in a Zoom lessons. It's the most crazy thing there is. So I think this painting is about it, about the Zoom lesson. Everyone is in his own bubble, focusing on his own thing, like doing his own stuff, and bringing his own self to this situation. This painting called Captain Jojo. It's like I like detailed the painting that you saw before, but now it's like the painter is like flying with this small figure and that are watching the future, and he's like focusing on his painting, flying somewhere else with this donkey and his cactus and his bird. They are all together. It's like a theater of figures that you have inside of you. Another flying painter at the studio. Like I was doing those paintings. I think that I did. I worked on. I practiced my art for so long. Like I graduated the first degree in Bezalel in 2000, but nothing happened, and I continued doing my art. I believe that the moment will come, and this moment came only on 2006 or 7. Like in 1 second, one evening, my graduate MFA exhibition were sold out, and from that on I started to show my art around the world. I had solo shows in New York, in Chicago, in Berlin, in Beijing, in Tokyo, in Amsterdam. So I'm really traveling now less with my art, but something with that. It's like there is this word on saying about like emerging artists. So there is something with that. I feel that when you have success or something like that, you're starting to fly. Your imagination is doing it for you. So this figure have this is losing his balance. This is from the Matisse cutouts. This is the figure I told you before about the Matisse cutout that I saw in the MoMA, and I felt that I could have taken these leaves of Matisse. He was doing kind of leaves, cutting leaves. I could take him with me. I could fly. I could fly with it, like like I have like waves inside of me that I can fly at the studio, um, like a bird. So I did this painting from this moment. This is the image that I saw when I saw this exhibition cutout, and I continue with that. I did more of those, like this boatman. This figure is on this like flying on this, like has is in his boat on the water, and the leaves of the cutouts, the paper sheets are flying away. They're not paper sheets, that they are oil on canvas, but I reacted to them like they are papers, like this as well. Also this one. It's a very big painting, this one. Like this one, Man with a Stick. Matisse had also couch paintings. He was sitting on a couch and he was with a stick, he was painting like with a long stick on the wall. This painting is called The Lost Princess. It's from a story of Rabbi Nachman. This long story short, it's a story about of a princess that were she was the best girl of the king, but they had like they have like an argue between of them, and she said something and he said something, and then he offended her and she left the house. And from this moment on, the second man of the king was looking at her after her. And I read this. It's a tale by Rabbi Nachman. I read it and I saw this painting. Like this painting came from this tale. It's in my mind, something that. But it's an open image. You can see and think what you want on it. It's very simple. This painting called The Piano Lesson. This is kind of part of an installation that I had in Herzliya Museum 2 years ago. This is another installation view of an exhibition that in one of my galleries in Tel Aviv. You see this long painting. It's called Tish. It's called Tish. It's one of this thing that you are doing with the rabbi when you meet in the holidays. You're you're coming to take something from the rabbi. All the Hasidus are together. They are gathering. It's like I referred it to. I play with that to like refer to their Last Supper. Something with this image. I play with that. I play to it with the remember of it, the art history. This is an installation view of a show that I had in Beijing. Another cutout painting that I did refer to Matisse as well. The man with the stick here, holding the stick, and the cutouts that are flying on the floor. This one as well, the man with the stick. Look at, so there are so many layers under the layer that are in the black layer in the front. Like it's a layer on a layer on a layer, and you see figures that are happening between of them. It's something that when I'm doing the painting, I play with that. I feel that it's attracting my mind. This is how it's installed on one of the exhibition. This painting actually is flying now to New York for Discount Bank bought a building in New York, so this painting is one of the installed painting that will be in the new building. This painting is called The Owl. It's called The Owl because of the bird that there is here on the wall. This figure is holding as well a cutout, but the leftover of a cutout. Something that you are referring or feeling compared to the time. Everyone is saying that things happened in the 70s and the 60s and the 40s and the 50s, and now it's like a leftover. It's kind of the time that we have to finished. So I just refer to it. This figure is holding a paper, but the leftover of a paper. It's something that I feel refer to the time that we live in now. And that's it for now. I'm back.
Okay. Shai, thank you so much. That was incredible. I see we have a question by one of our attendees. So I think Isaac, I think it's from, wants to know, do you go straight to Canvas or do you prepare preliminary sketches of your ideas?
Sometimes there are paintings that are coming from an idea. I have an idea in my mind. It's like talking to me. I want to go out. I want to be a painting. I want to go out. I want to be a painting. And I'm doing a sketch, and maybe I'm doing a painting. But there are paintings that come from failure. I'm doing a painting because I'm planning a painting, and then it doesn't work, and I have to plan. I have to do a plan B, just to react to the color, and something is coming out of it. So it's kind of a birth. Sometimes it's very easy, and sometimes it's very complicated. So it's a mix of two ways.
So Shai, I'm going to ask a question as people think, just to give them some time to think about what questions they want to ask. So what I find really interesting about your art and your practice, that it's so intricately with Eretz Yisrael, with Israel and the people of Israel and the land of Israel. And yet so many people around the world love your work and connect to it. Even people that aren't Jewish, like you said, you had shows, all over the world, and you have gallery representation all over the world. So what do you think that is? Like, how do you explain, even though your work to us so Israeli, there's so much universal appeal?
I think that it's all about energy. I think that it's all about the moment you are doing something with yourself, the moment you are working in the studio, and there is a surprise. You're doing a painting and you are surprised. The moment that you are surprised, I'm sure that it's like a massive energy. It's a cosmic energy. It will surprise everyone. I have worked in. I had this thing that, like, in 2011, some group of Japanese curators came to my studio, and I didn't understand why they are staying. And then someone of them invite me to Japan to a solo show, and I was thinking, really, like you're asking, what is the connection? How come? I'm doing something here. I'm speaking about Rabbi Nachman. I'm speaking about Judaism. I'm speaking about and how come that and this show came to Tokyo, and it was sold out. So I was so surprised. And then I understand that it's everything about something that you are doing and you are believing in, and it's affecting the people that are meeting it. It doesn't matter. And art, especially painting, have this privilege to do something that the language does not exist.
That's great. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, first of all, I love the work. It's so the whole thing was magnificent. You just talked about energy, the picture of the people like flying in the air, the lightness and the joy that you described really just comes through in so many of them, and the colors and shapes. I'm curious, I imagine being an Israeli artist, a religious Israeli artist, that's not the most common. Most of the Israeli artists on the scene are not religious. What would you say is like the best part or the most exhilarating aspect of being in an industry which is mostly non-religious and being, and you're so expressive in your art about religious themes and ideas and meaning? And Israel's such a fascinating country, the combination of religious and secular. How do you find, like, what's that like being in Jerusalem, this holy city, like among, I'm just so curious what that's like.
It's like I feel that I'm a kind of shluch, like Chabad shluchim. I feel that I'm a Chabadnik in the art scene. Like, I have a mission, I'm not trying to convince no one. I'm just going with my kippah and showing my best art everywhere, and that's it. I feel that I don't have to say nothing. the industry is completely chiloni. It's completely secular. Like it's very, even extremely in an extreme way. But for me, it's kind of a challenging. Even it makes me unique in a sense. Like so this situation in it, I think that we are bringing some new something fresh into it. This is the reason that it's standing so well. Lucky me, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful work too. Is
Yeah.
there a way for us here to procure, to purchase, to get some of your artwork? Like, is it purchasable?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, yes, of course. Like
Yeah.
Ronnit is, she
Yeah.
knows everything.
If anyone has any questions afterwards, please email me. I put my email in the chat box, and also if anyone from this community makes a purchase, we want to make a donation back to the community. So just putting it out there. And Rabbi, I love your question. That was my other question that I was holding on to in case your congregation was going to be shy, because shy, no pun intended. And also I see we have a question from Judah Aspler. Judah, are you making anything specifically now that really relates to the pandemic?
Well, it's a very good question, but I have to say, again, Baruch Hashem, this time of this COVID time, it's one of the most successful time for me in my career. I don't know how did it happen, but Baruch Hashem, it happened. So I'm not I'm going to the studio. I'm trying to now. I can't go because of the lockdown, but I don't have a real reaction. I did one painting like reacted to that, but it's not a real reaction. I think the time will come with it. I have to digest something here, so I don't have a very like a very direct piece referring to this time.
But Shai, in previous conversations, we were discussing just the life of an artist. It's always secluded in the studio. And so I feel like maybe things haven't changed too much for artists during the pandemic, just by the nature of the work. And also, we also discussed how you were expressed the safety of your studio, especially within a pandemic, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, it's like everyone became an artist in the studio now because everyone stayed at home and they are doing their stuff and they are looking inside and they are asking themselves if their way is good, like if they did something good for themselves. I'm hearing about so many other people that are coming back to paint because they left it and now they have more time. So I think there is something that is happening that it's above it.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good time for everyone. It's never too late to pick up a
go in,
paintbrush.
yeah, or something, or a paper, or a pen, or something like that. Yes, of course.
Absolutely. In the beginning of the pandemic, I kept a little visual diary. It helped me cope with everything. But I just want to share with everyone that, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, there are some great apps on the iPad and iPhone.
Yeah.
Like brushes, just to start that way, which is
Yeah.
another good idea. Just going to see if there's any more questions. I don't see any questions. Sometimes people, it's an after, like they have to have it all soak in and then they come back with questions later. But anyway, Shai, Toda Rabah, thank you so much. This was incredible. We really appreciate you taking this time. We know you're very, very busy right now. There's happening for you. So we really, really appreciate this. It really is art therapy, especially. And just the idea that you were able to touch people, so far away, I think is really incredible.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. Have a good life and good time. Enjoy your time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.